In the late 17th century, a dark chapter in American history unfolded in the town of Salem, Massachusetts. The Salem Witch Trials, as they came to be known, were a series of hearings and prosecutions that resulted in the execution of 19 innocent people and left a lasting mark on the colonial community. Today, we delve into the fascinating and haunting history of the Salem Witch Trials, exploring the events, the people involved, and the enduring impact they had on society. To truly understand the Salem Witch Trials, it's important to first delve into the historical context of life in colonial Salem. A small but growing town in the late 17th century, Salem was primarily an agrarian community, heavily influenced by Puritan beliefs. The rigid social structure, strict religious practices, and prevailing superstitions created an atmosphere of fear and suspicion. People believed in the existence of witches and the devil's influence, which shaped their perceptions and reactions when strange occurrences and ailments started to afflict the community. The belief in witchcraft was deeply ingrained in the minds of the people of colonial Salem. They believed that witches were individuals who had made a pact with the devil, enabling them to perform supernatural acts and cause harm to others. The fear of witches grew when unexplainable phenomena occurred, such as strange illnesses, crop failures, and unexplained deaths. In this climate of fear, accusations of witchcraft began to fly, with individuals pointing fingers at their neighbors, friends, and even family members as potential witches. The events leading up to the Salem Witch Trials were marked by a series of unsettling incidents. It began in 1692 when two young girls, Betty Paris and Abigail Williams, started experiencing mysterious fits and convulsions. Unable to explain these episodes, the community turned to supernatural explanations and blamed witchcraft. The accusations quickly spread, and more individuals, predominantly women, were accused of bewitching the girls. The community became gripped by a collective hysteria, and a local court was established to investigate the claims and bring the accused to trial. At the center of the witchcraft accusations were two young girls, Betty Paris and Abigail Williams. Betty, the 9-year-old daughter of Reverend Samuel Paris, and Abigail, his niece, began exhibiting strange behavior that baffled the community. They complained of being bitten, pinched, and tormented by unseen forces. They had fits of screaming, convulsions, and claimed to see spectral shapes tormenting them. Their odd behavior sparked suspicion and fear, leading to speculations of witchcraft being the cause of their afflictions. As the accusations of witchcraft spread, other girls in the community started exhibiting similar symptoms. Ann Putnam Jr., Mercy Lewis, Mary Walcott, and others joined Betty and Abigail in their afflictions. This fueled the belief that witchcraft was at play, and the accusations widened to encompass not only more girls but also adult women and a few men. The accused were often those who were already socially marginalized, including widows, poor women, and individuals who didn't conform to the strict norms of the community. The fear and paranoia continued to grow as more and more individuals were targeted. The accusations of witchcraft had a profound impact on the Salem community. Fear and distrust ran rampant as neighbors turned against neighbors and friends against friends. No one felt safe. Even the most innocent actions were viewed with suspicion. The fabric of the community unraveled as people lived in constant fear of being accused or of having their loved ones targeted. This atmosphere of paranoia fueled the witch hunt, creating a toxic environment where anyone could be accused and presumed guilty without sufficient evidence. To handle the increasing number of witchcraft accusations, a special court was formed in Salem. This court, known as the Court of Oyer and Termine, was established in May 1692. The legal proceedings were far from fair and just. The accused were often denied legal representation and faced prejudiced judges who believed in the existence of witches. The court relied heavily on spectral evidence, which was the testimony of the afflicted girls claiming to see the spirits of the accused witches tormenting them. This lack of empirical evidence and reliance on superstition set the stage for a biased and flawed judicial process. During the Salem Witch Trials, the testimonies and evidence presented in court were often based on superstition and hysteria rather than objective facts. The afflicted girls would claim to see the spectral shapes of the accused witches and would testify against them. Their testimonies were given significant weight by the court, despite being highly unreliable and easily manipulated. This spectral evidence, along with the testimonies of other accusers, was used to convict many innocent individuals, as the court believed it was proof of their witchcraft activities. This reliance on subjective and unverifiable evidence led to a grave miscarriage of justice. The verdicts of the Salem witch trials were often predetermined by the biased court system and the reliance on unreliable evidence. Many of the accused were pronounced guilty without proper legal defense or the opportunity to present counterarguments. As a result, 19 individuals were sentenced to death by hanging, while several others died in jail awaiting trial or under harsh conditions. The executions were public events, heightening the fear and intimidation within the community. The tragic loss of innocent lives during this dark chapter of history serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of mass hysteria and the dangers of a flawed judicial system. The Salem witch trials left a lasting impact on the community of Salem. The aftermath was filled with fear, guilt, and a deep sense of loss. Many people were haunted by the realization that innocent lives had been taken due to baseless accusations. The community became deeply divided, with lingering suspicion and mistrust among its members. The scars left by this tragic event would take years to heal, and the impact would be felt for generations to come. The Salem witch trials eventually came to an end when public opinion began to shift. The trials were criticized for their lack of due process and reliance on spectral evidence. In October 1692, Governor William Phips ordered the Court of Oyer and Termine to halt its proceedings, as doubts about the fairness of the trials grew. The following year, when the newly established Superior Court of Judicature heard the remaining cases, they dismissed many of the convictions and released those who were still in custody. This marked the official recognition of the errors committed during the trials. The Salem witch trials hold immense historical significance as a cautionary tale about the dangers of mass hysteria, intolerance, and the abuse of power. The trials served as a reminder of the devastating consequences that can arise when fear and superstition are allowed to dictate the course of justice. They highlighted the importance of due process, the presumption of innocence, and the need for objective evidence in legal proceedings. The impact of the trials extended beyond Salem, influencing the development of legal systems and the recognition of human rights. Today, the Salem witch trials stand as a somber reminder of the importance of fairness, reason, and critical thinking in the pursuit of justice. The Salem witch trials serve as a stark reminder of the danger of hysteria and mass panic. The community's descent into fear and paranoia led to the wrongful accusations and persecution of numerous innocent individuals. It highlights how easily a community can succumb to irrationality and the disastrous consequences that follow. The Salem witch trials teaches the importance of staying rational, questioning assumptions, and not allowing fear to overwhelm critical thinking. The Salem witch trials emphasize the importance of due process and fair trials. The accused during the trials were denied basic legal rights and the opportunity to defend themselves properly. Innocent lives were lost because of the lack of evidence and reliance on superstitious beliefs. These events remind us of the fundamental principles of justice: the presumption of innocence, the right to legal representation, and the need for objective evidence before passing judgment. The Salem witch trials serve as a powerful reminder to uphold these principles and ensure that justice is served through fair and impartial trials. The Salem witch trials underscore the importance of respecting differences and avoiding prejudice. Many of the accused during the trials were individuals who didn't conform to the strict norms of the community or who were already socially marginalized. This led to them being targeted and falsely accused. The trials serve as a reminder that we must value diversity and embrace acceptance, rather than allowing fear and prejudice to fuel witch hunts based on unfounded beliefs or stereotypes. The Salem witch trials teach us the significance of recognizing and respecting each individual's unique qualities and avoiding snap judgments based on appearances or differences. The Salem witch trials serve as a powerful reminder of the dangers of mass hysteria, fear, and the consequences of unchecked accusations. It is a tragic tale of innocent lives lost and the irreparable damage caused by a flawed and unjust legal system. The legacy of the trials lives on, reminding us of the importance of due process, evidence-based reasoning, and the protection of individual rights. As we reflect on this dark chapter in history, let us remember the lessons learned from the Salem Witch Trials and strive to create a society that values fairness, justice, and compassion for all.